Open-world gaming has become a major part of the industry, with many AAA series choosing to expand in this direction. Yet some of these worlds are far harder to navigate than others, offering complex mechanics, tough story moments, or vast collections to discover. Each title approaches the genre differently, and what one player finds difficult, another might handle with ease. The strength of open-world games lies in their immersion. These expansive settings deepen stories and challenge players to understand the worlds they explore. Games like Horizon Zero Dawn and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild succeed because their developers understand that difficulty should always be engaging, not discouraging. The Middle-earth series was a breath of fresh air when it debuted. Players were captivated not only by the reimagining of J.R.R. Tolkien's world, but also by Monolith's innovative Nemesis system. This feature brought Middle-earth to life as Mordor's forces fought for dominance and orcs rose through the ranks. Talion's story was intense, and the maps offered plenty of opportunities for real exploration. Middle-earth Shadow of War truly showcased the series' potential. Its ambitious siege mechanics demonstrated the scale of its battles, and the refined Nemesis system elevated the experience even further. It might be the perfect Lord of the Rings game, but it's certainly not for the faint of heart. With missions that pit players against dragons, giants, and Mordor's legions, there's a lot to overcome in this instant classic. Few modern original gaming franchises have achieved instant success, but the Horizon series was one of them. From the moment it was announced, the concept generated major excitement from the gaming community. Not only did it have a richly detailed open world, but the introduction of Aloy, a compelling new protagonist, captivated players, while its intense action sequences pushed them to their limits. Some argue that Horizon Forbidden West is the stronger title, but both are among the best open-world games of all time, and Horizon Zero Dawn deserves recognition for the challenger presented. Established series are often easier to navigate with familiar mechanics, but Zero Dawn offered no such comfort. Its robotic enemies demanded strategy and precision, quickly revealing the skill required to survive its post-apocalyptic wilderness. The ultra-hard difficulty level steps things up a notch and offers players an experience unlike anything else.
Familiar series will continue to appear as AAA studios have the resources to keep going bigger and bolder. In the case of Marvel Spider-Man, Insomniac seems determined to raise the difficulty with each installment. While the original game challenged players with intense battles against the Sinister Six and Mr. Negative, Marvel Spider-Man 2 took things to the next level. The symbiote threat became iconic in the comics for good reason, but returns here in spectacular fashion, pushing players to test their skills like never before. There's plenty to explore before fully completing the game, with countless enemy strongholds to dismantle and the fight to keep New York safe. But it's the symbiotes that bring the real challenge in Marvel Spider-Man 2. On the highest difficulty settings, the swarm of Venom spin-offs can feel almost impossible to defeat. Venom stands as the main threat for good reason, yet his henchmen prove just as overwhelming. If Carnage appears in future installments, chaos is sure to reign across this open-world Marvel universe once again.
When Cyberpunk 2077 first launched, players found it difficult to play for one major reason: the glitches. The game simply wasn't ready, leading many to call it unplayable and abandon it for a time. Still, a loyal fanbase kept their faith, and through a series of substantial updates from CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk 2077 has evolved into one of the greatest open-world RPGs ever made. Of course, that doesn't mean it's any easier now. The glitches are gone, replaced by complex enemies and the futuristic city seemingly designed to push the protagonist to the limit. As sci-fi action goes, Cyberpunk 2077 delivers some of the most intense combat around. Its gripping story and fast-paced gameplay make every victory deeply satisfying. But so many warring factions and constant danger, there's never a moment of rest in Night City. Just try playing on very hard and watch the chaos unfold. Ghost of Tsushima remains one of the greatest open-world games of the past decade, and that's thanks in large part to its exceptional world building. Its challenge goes beyond combat, though there's plenty of that too. The game offers a seemingly endless list of fortresses to conquer and shrines to explore, along with plenty of other tasks to complete. For completion is aiming for 100%. It's no easy feat, but the world keeps drawing players back. Combat presents its own set of challenges, especially when it comes to mastering the different stances. As the story unfolds, new enemies demand fresh techniques, creating a steep learning curve. Truly mastering the ways of the samurai and becoming the titular Ghost takes time, but once achieved, players feel nearly unstoppable until the game shifts again and another threat rises. The Monster Hunter series has experimented with open-world elements before, but many argue that the recent Monster Hunter Wilds is the best yet. Its blend of intense beast battles and survival mechanics creates a uniquely challenging balance. Even longtime fans of the franchise may feel like they're starting from scratch, as the titular monsters grow tougher with every encounter. The open world is stunning to explore, but considering what populates it, it still offers an intense experience. Capcom's latest take on the formula makes full use of its varied weapon options, ensuring each encounter feels distinct despite the familiar premise. The quests serve as the game's driving force, yet reading through some of them is enough to make anyone's heart sink. Many challenges seem nearly impossible to overcome, which is probably why the title has become one of the fastest-selling Capcom games of all time. Like many of the other titles mentioned, Subnautica has grown into a beloved franchise that players have fully immersed themselves in. Still, the original Subnautica deserves special recognition for just how intense the experience is. It's rare to find someone unbothered by the vastness of the ocean, especially when its depths hide so many unknowns, and the game's survival mechanics expertly tap into those fears. Developed by Unknown Worlds Entertainment, Panic Button Games, Grip Digital, and Shiny Shoe, the title stands as one of the best survival games out there, and it's constantly pushing players to their limits. Exploration is essential, but facing the dangers of the deep is equally nerve-wracking. For players seeking the ultimate challenge, there's Hardcore mode with a permanent death feature that proves just how extreme Subnautica can be. The Legend of Zelda has long been a fun, family-friendly adventure series for casual players to enjoy. While it's always featured complex mechanics, it was more about the story and fantasy setting than testing player skill. That changed with the debut of Breath of the Wild, which made it clear that Nintendo wasn't holding back this time. The sequel followed the same pattern, but its stunning open world and ambitious boss battles showed just how much the series had evolved. This was the first truly difficult Legend of Zelda game, especially for those who thought they mastered the franchise. While Breath of the Wild may have been surpassed by Tears of the Kingdom, it introduced countless innovations that raised the difficulty to a whole new level. And with the appearance of Monk Mos Koshia, it delivered one of the toughest boss battles in the series' history. Any game with survival elements is bound to be challenging, but Red Dead Redemption 2's dedication to realism makes its Western world especially demanding. Players spend countless hours exploring its vast landscapes and just as many facing their own downfall. Rockstar's version of the Wild West is as dangerous as they come, and it's not only the gunfights that pose a threat. The environment itself feels hostile, as if something terrible could be waiting around every corner. Red Dead Redemption 2 constantly keeps players on the run, often from the consequences of their own choices. One mistake can turn the entire world against them, especially outside of missions. The campaign offers moments of real tension, many of which force players to rely on their weapons as the full drama of the Western genre unfolds.
There's a reason so few heroes survive in classic Western tales, and the game's punishing difficulty makes that truth made hard once again. The question for Elden Ring fans isn't just whether they finished the game, it's also about how many hours they spent trying to make progress. This George R.R. Martin written and From Software developed title is enormous and refuses to follow the familiar narrative structure of most AAA games. Instead, it offers a grounded, open-ended fantasy world that encourages exploration without constraints, which is a pretty daunting prospect given the enemies that await. Elden Ring attracts dedicated players drawn to its deep progression systems and complex design. The added DLC only raised the challenge, and with no traditional difficulty settings, everyone faces the same unforgiving world. Some even attempt the near impossible feat of completing the game without leveling up, while embracing both the risks and rewards that come with it. That level of determination simply has to be commended.